I don't care who you are or what you believe in. My only intention is to help you become in control of yourself so that you can begin to understand more of what's happening and become in control of what's going on around you. My desire is for you and all of us to affect the system in our own way so that we can make the changes that need to happen for our individual freedoms and our individual self-control so that we are in control of our own, what I would say, destiny here. We can eventually disconnect from the controlling system that oversees us, and we can go on about on our own. That's the whole purpose behind this. Just so you can become aware of your situation and make your individual choices. If you choose to stay within, that's your choice. You do what you wish. But I would say most of the people who become aware of their situation are going to make the decision to disconnect from this and leave. When you become aware and prove to yourself that you can indeed affect the system, then it changes things in the way you think and believe. Let me give you an example, a personal example. Got into my state, I would say closer to hypnagogic state, or realize within a dream state. And I had a visual portal connection. Was somewhat skewed, little pixelated. And then I see these dark images starting to kind of work their way into the picture. And it was almost as if you're watching a film and the film starts to melt. So the black kind of blobby images start to work their way towards the middle of the film as if it's burning from the outside edge. So I realized it was occurring. I was obviously lucid at that point. And so I decided, well, I'm going to stop this right now. So I imagined myself stopping it, and that wasn't doing anything. It still kept coming in towards the middle of the picture, kind of taking over the actual image that I had in front of me. So I said, okay, let me use what I've proven to myself that works. So I imagined myself throwing out these, I would just say, imaginary kind of straw-like tentacles into those black images, and then drawing back the energy from them. And as soon as I connected with them and began that process, they began to recede. Now, I knew this process already worked, but I always try different ways of dealing with situations to see, because I want to experiment. I want to see what else I can do to affect it. But since I did that, and that was something that I'd already proven to myself that works, I went ahead and utilized that, and it worked. And it has so far worked for me every time. So when you're in situations where you're being it's an attempted overtake of your scenario or of what's happening in your existence, then you need to fight back. And whether it means just not allowing it in any way that you can, or come up with a different scenario, or utilize what I suggest. And I know it works for me, and it's worked in many scenarios. So, and what it is I believe to those beings, the threat of us even doing that sometimes is more than the actual experience itself. So if they are aware that you are going to be utilizing something that doesn't work with them, then they are less likely to be around you or to try that, because they are aware that you have the ability to affect them. And when you have that ability to affect them, it changes the whole scenario. At that point, you become the predator. And I've talked about this many times before. And it's really important to understand that, because when you have proven that to not only yourself, to these other beings, then you've changed the whole scenario. The scenario of the predator prey, as well as our scenario in our specific situation. Because you're no longer the gazelle running around in the field being chased by the lions or tigers or whatever were the predators in that situation. You are now roaming the field as a potential predator. So now these other predators are going to not approach you because they know you are a potential predator. And you've proven yourself. So you begin to walk differently, you begin to think differently, and you begin to act differently, knowing that you are getting in control. And that's a very big deal. It's a very, very big deal. It's groundbreaking. So when you have proven to yourself and to others that you have that ability, foster it and keep working with it. You will find times of doubt, and it will be cast upon you. But push ahead. Because just focus on the situation. Focus on the incident that proved to you. Because with this illusional field and all this garbage input that we get every day, it's going to try to dilute your experience and try to over layer that so that you forget or you begin to doubt yourself or whatever. It's going to try to cover that up because it does not want you to remember that. It does not want you to feel that you have that ability. So you just need to keep it fresh in your mind and realize, even if you run into situations where you don't seem to be as well versed as you were at certain times, keep pushing on it, because you will do better. You will get better. Just believe in yourself. That's what it's all about. It's all about understanding what your potential is and believing in yourself. And I think our biggest weakness is just not believing in ourselves, because that's why we look to others for answers, and that's why we look to others to save us or to help us, because we don't believe enough in ourselves and our own abilities. But once we start to prove this to ourselves, then it changes the game. And then we become part of the game that we can control. And once we start to control the game, then it drastically changes to our advantage. Because we're no longer playing a seasoned team that overwhelms us. we become seasoned, and we gain the ability to fight back, to defend ourselves, and to take from them.